Imagine you move to, um, like, let's say Vietnam or Thailand. Let me be very characteristic.
Yeah.
And you just need some small coconut cash for, and yeah, maybe
I
some
think
small cash to your.
I would be quite comfortable living there with my work now.
Yeah, but the thing
So
is, you know now that you can charge your rate, so you're probably not going to decrease your rates.
no, I'm gonna go up. I think because uh, because when your quality increase, you notice that there is more demand, and you get other clients that can pay you this way.
You're listening to Art Heroes Podcast, the show to help you thrive as a digital artist. Tune in to learn how to transform your passion into a career. Get inspired by other kick-ass 2D and 3D artists and find out what it takes to be an art hero.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host at Art Heroes Podcast. My name is Maria JD, and thanks for downloading this episode. Today, we're gonna have a conversation with Hakim Rafai, who's a freelance concept artist from Norway. And the whole talk will go not so much into art, but also in what it actually takes to be a freelance artist in a place that is actually not meant for freelancing. I'm sure many of you can relate. There are so many struggles, so we're going to figure out how Hakim deals with living in Norway and still thriving as an artist. So please welcome Hakim. All right, Hakim, we're now on air. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And
Thank you,
yeah, we just started recording. Thanks again for being
thank you for
here.
having me.
No, the pleasure is all mine. So, guys, for those of you who don't know Hakim, Hakim is connecting now from Norway, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
correct.
And yeah, Hakim is a pretty amazing artist of different profiles, but currently mostly character artist, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Actually, I'm doing concept art. It can be some environments, but mainly characters. That's what I do.
Yes. Yeah, actually we'll go deeper into that as well because I like how you juggle different types of art projects. So
Mm.
maybe let's start with you. So what actually brought you to this industry and how did you get started?
Actually, I always been a little bit creative, so I always drew, and I loved as a teenager comics and superheroes and manga and stuff like that. So it gets me like wanted to draw and do be a comic artist. And when animation began to be a thing, and I was really wanted to do something like in the movie industry, like animations or like maybe anime as well. So my one of my dreams was to go to Japan and do an anime. But after a while, I decided to go to France and study fine arts. So I did some 1.5 year of fine art and then 2 years of 3D animation to learn 3ds Max and Maya and all that stuff. And when I came back to Norway, um, I where I live, actually, we have to say that there is not a lot of game industry or animation studios in the region where I live. So it was mainly oil companies and advertising that needed this visual kind of service. So I've been working as a 3D animator, doing animations for this kind of thing. It was very creative at the beginning, and it got a little bit too industrial for my taste. So I decided to find something else to do. But still, I wanted to be in Norway and continue doing what I liked. But I stopped like drawing for 10 years. So I was like, oh, I can't draw anymore. Like I could draw, but it was like very, yeah, not very good. So I decided to stop my job and begin to learn again. So I was following like Fang Zhu on YouTube and stuff like that. So I could like find the way how they do it and how I can break to the industry. And then I took a mentorship with Anthony Jones, actually, the couple. Environment and not just with Anthony Jones, it was Scale and Shock I took as well. And that gave me like an idea how to do it. So from there, and it was for 3.5 years ago, then I began to learn by myself, being a freelancer and trying to grind it, like learn for myself. And I'm been lucky until now to get jobs. But yeah,
that's a pretty cool story. So you're one of these people who actually did traditional art education.
Yeah, I wish I did more, because I remember I was dropping that courses to go and do more 3D, because that was the thing like back then. But yeah, I did some with the anatomy and all that stuff. But still, I'm learning anatomy, but because this is like 15 years ago, so I don't remember everything. So
I don't think our anatomy has changed much for 15
years. But my brain did, so I forgot everything.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So how useful do you think in general that was? I mean, you wish you could do more, or you wish you didn't just spend time on something else? What is the value of that whole step for you?
Yeah, you mean like
the traditional art degree?
Yeah. I think it's very important as an artist to know this kind of stuff, because when you start as a 3D animator or 3D whatever, like a concept artist, you are an artist, but you get a lot for free, like the lighting, the perspective, I did say the perspective. There is a lot of tools that you have for free, and you take it for granted. And when I started to draw again, I noticed, I don't know lighting. I don't know where the shadow is gonna hit right now. I have to think about this stuff. And it was interesting and very exciting to me to do this kind of work. And I'm still working on it. I'm not there yet. But that was interesting to me, that a lot of people do 3D, but they can't always draw, or there is the opposite that occur, if you know what I mean. When you know how to draw it, it's difficult to go to the 3D software and know where stuff is. It's always a struggle. But I feel like I know both of the worlds now. So what I do, it's like to mix in them, to do like blocking in 3D and paint over it. Or if the client wants it very fast, I can use a 3D software to have like base and paint on it. Is incredible tools. But I think I went from 3D to 2D for this reason, that I really like handcraft stuff. So I'm still using digital medium, like a Wacom, Cintiq and stuff like that, but it's still your hand doing stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, and you're not letting the software do a lot.
So what are your typical projects nowadays? Is it mostly 3D, 2D? Do you ever do animation now?
I do very little of animation. I do it as a freelancer, that grinding in Norway. I have to like be a little bit more, do various stuff. So sometimes I do some animation, but it's still not in the same industry. So I jump from an industry to another, like I'm doing games and mobile games and board games, and then I jump to doing ads or oil-related animations.
So I guess that's your local customers.
Yeah,
local
exactly.
Clients.
The local customers. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
I would love to have more of the gaming industry, but I'm working on it.
And what happens with like 3D and 2D? Is it like the larger proportion of what you do now?
Um, the 2D.
Yeah, yeah, like 3D and 2D. What is the typical scope of the project for you now?
The thing I do the most is 2D,
Yeah.
really. The 3D, it's like maybe a couple of clients I have that come back
Mm-hmm.
for animations, but usually I do a lot of 2D, and I try to focus on that. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I go, for instance, I get an interview yesterday, and they are making a game, actually locally, and that's very impressive. So I begin to start here as well. And they needed both. They needed 3D modelers and 2D concept artists. And for me, as a choice, I said that I wanted to do the 2D part because that's I like this. When you're a concept artist, you are like in the pre-production, so you dictating in a way the style we're gonna
Yes,
go for. And that's what I think it's exciting to me. It's like the blueprint of the whole project, basically.
definitely.
And there is one thing I wanted to mention is the difference between concept artist and illustrator, because
Yeah.
I'm both, but people tend to not understand the difference. When they see 2D, they say, you're a concept artist. But a concept artist can be a 3D modeler as well, or sculptor.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's very, it's the same but it's not really,
Okay.
because a concept artist is more your brain, like
Yeah.
they buy your ideas. It can be just sketches and blueprints of stuff, and illustration is like finished illustration, what you find in cover boxes or books or whatever, like the finished render.
Yeah. So you definitely prefer being a concept artist.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so what are the challenges like for you, the major challenges of a concept artist?
It's to find the right solution for the client. Usually they come with a brief or with something they can't do themselves, like they can't visualize it. So the challenge for me is to find exactly what they have in their head.
Okay.
And that's very, sometimes it can be challenging. It can use a little bit of time, and then the client don't see always the time using in it, because there is a lot of thinking and a lot of trying, a lot of thumbnails, a lot of like just sketching. And when you price that, there is some client that understand this, and there is others that they think, yeah, but it's just sketches. What do
Yeah.
you do? So that's the challenge I find sometimes, but usually it goes well.
Yeah. And so this is a really interesting point. And thank you so much for bringing this, like the whole idea of, digging inside somebody's head.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's not normally seen like this. It's just like, well, you are concepting, but actually this is always a collaboration with the client.
Exactly, because they pay you to help them find a way to express their own ideas. So the concept artist actually is just a middleman, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if they come with a brief, they want it visually, and you're able to do it visual with sketches. They can't, so that's why they pay you. So they pay actually your brain and your ideas.
Yes.
But it's not always like a finished product, and that's very important to know, because the finished product, after you render it and then that's illustration work. That's another part of the production.
Yeah, I see. So do you have anything like a process to understand what the client actually wants? Because one thing is a brief, and then something that you have to produce is a different thing. So
Yeah,
how do you
exactly.
actually understand what is that they want?
Yeah, by asking loads of questions, and usually they think you know what they mean, but you don't, because if I sell you now a motorbike, you're gonna see it in your head, it's a motorbike, but maybe mine is yellow and yours is red, and there is other parts of it. So to pinpoint exactly what they want, I have like to ask them all these questions,
Yeah.
detailing. Like my part of the job is to ask questions and have a list of stuff.
Okay. And do you use any tools, I don't know, like mood boarding or any like visualization tools to help you understand better and communicate? with clients, or
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
just sketching? Like, how do you actually work?
Usually it's just sketching, and I have we usually work with their own. They come with their own system. If it's a big company, they have their own. For example, they have Trellos with a lot of references, and I always ask for references because we are in the visual industry. So if you show me an image and say that's almost exactly what I want, sorry. That's much helpful than if they just write you words.
Yeah.
So,
and
the same example like I took with the motorbike. If I show you the motorbike I want you to construct for me, and I say exactly the same wheels,
yeah,
but this is different.
Yeah.
So when you find something that's much more helpful for you to do your job well, instead of saying I want a motorbike that's
that is red and retro.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, that is pretty hard.
Very,
I can
difficult.
imagine. Yeah. And what happens with the duration of the process? How long does it normally take you, and how many iterations would you normally go through?
Yeah, that's always a little challenging with the client because they don't want you to spend too long because of the cost. But usually I use 3 days maybe if they're on a character, like just to have all the ideas they want me to develop. And in the same whoa, something happened here. In the same time, you have okay. In the same time, you have to go through stuff that are crazy and that you like as well, because you're gonna work on this for so long. So you pick the details they really want, and you make it your own in a way, and make the stuff you like to see as well, and see if they like it. And this process goes with communication with the client. You just send them. I usually send them in the end of. I say usually okay, 3 days, but I send them after a day already, just to build their
just kind of start advancing.
Yeah, exactly. So because it's very dangerous to do it like for 3 or 4 days, and you worked hard and then you just missed,
Yes. And then you have to start over.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, I see. Well, I guess it all differs also from client to client, and
exactly.
Yeah.
And clients like to price you as well as a package, not price you, but price your work. Like give you okay, this is the amount, and you do whatever you want. You use how much you want, and depending on the deadline, we will sort it out.
Okay, interesting. So does it mean that you actually don't price your services per day, but then you'd rather go per project?
It depends on the client, actually.
Yeah.
Usually it's daily.
Okay.
But sometimes if it's a big project and it's gonna be 6 months, it's gonna be difficult for them to pay you every day. So we always agree on something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So give me an example of a big project for a concept artist. What could that be? Something that takes several months.
The last big project I did, it was a board game. So I was the main illustrator there. I was the only illustrator there, actually. So I worked with the sculpture, and then we figure out how it's going to look like, the style. And actually, we did miss, because we did the style and we went through it and we found that it doesn't work. So we have to, after 2 months, go back and redo everything.
Okay.
More stylized.
That's an interesting case. And why exactly that did not work?
They felt like it didn't appeal to people. They wanted something more realistic and dark, because that's what they like to do. And they found out that for this system of gameplay, it didn't work. It was a little bit something that they didn't like. So we went through it, and we wanted to do something more entertaining and more happy and more fun. It's still killing aliens and monsters, but it was more like colorful and more cartoony in a way.
Okay. So happily killing monsters
Exactly.
with fun. All right, I see. So that
Yeah.
actually, brings me to my other question that I was, wondering, where is the final kind of a consumer in this formula? So is this person or this group of people, are they even important to you as an artist when you create something? So that would be like a good example when you know that the board game will be made for like the people that are enjoying it in their free time. And so, like, do you only use the brief, or do you ever think of the final
Who's
consumer,
gonna
or
play
that's
it? Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
of
or
course.
that's not really your job?
It's not really my job, but I do ask who's gonna play it and which kind of age they aiming for, and you do this market research. Is it for a family, or is it for friends, or is it like more dark thing? Or so yeah, I usually ask who's gonna play it and how.
So that makes it even more complicated. It's not only worrying about like one client, but actually like about like big spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. But the decision is them. They have to take this decision, and I'm I'm actually thankful for that, because
Yeah.
they go for the decision, and if it doesn't work, maybe we have to redo it, or yeah,
Hmm.
depends on the budget.
Okay.
So,
All right, cool. And now I actually wanted to bring this conversation slightly to a different terrain. So I know that you're in Norway, and you took this conscious decision to come back from France at some
yeah.
point. I was wondering, like, why, and if you think that if you think there is different level of opportunities now for those who are remote versus those who are living in big cities in this industry.
Yeah,
Do you feel
actually.
somehow deprived?
Yeah, it's okay. The reason I came back to Norway is because my mom is Norwegian, and back then I had a girlfriend that was Norwegian when I was studying in France. My father actually, and I'm yeah, it's very complicated actually where to begin. I'm mixed. Like my father is from Morocco, Casablanca, but he has like his family in France, and we talk together in French and Norwegian and sometimes even Moroccan. So we get a little bit. So when I studied in France, just to answer your question, I I had opportunities to do stuff in France, but I had my family in Norway, and I felt like I had to go back and to try. My idea was there is not a lot of stuff like this in Norway yet, so it would be maybe one of the first one that starts something like that. And I was mistaken.
Oh, no.
Because there was a lot of studios already, and that was good because I could work there. But it wasn't, again, this kind of entertainment industry yet. It was more industrial kind of services, like platforms and boats and
Yeah, I see.
yeah. But I did do in that some stuff for the TV, and that was fun, like cartoon animations with characters and stuff. But it was very little.
Hmm.
Um,
So
so
now at this point, how do you look at your location? Would you
I
change
would, I
it?
would,
Would you
I'm
not?
trying to stay, but I think at some point I have to move because of the cost. Like when you're a freelancer and an artist freelancer in this region is very difficult because you feel like everything is against you. You're not in the system. You're doing something else, you know. So the prices are very high. So I've been actually thinking lately, maybe I should move and gain some more experience working in other country, big city, have maybe work as a junior concept artist, or maybe even a concept artist in one of the game studios. But I'm doing for now. I'm doing okay. So it's not like my priority, but maybe in the future I will. It depends on how it goes. I've been lucky to have work, and I survived for
Yeah.
4 years almost now. So
All
so yeah.
right.
But it's totally a grind. I have to say, like a freelance. If you're a freelancer, it's better to move to the jobs. You know, like it's much easier, and go to a much cheaper country, because the clients often they don't pay me the rate that I ask for. They think maybe it's too expensive. They don't understand that I live in an expensive
Yeah. So yeah, definitely you have to match that.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's a problem, and it's a grind. The
Yeah.
struggle is real, but it's exciting as well.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah. So, are there like, how's the industry in Norway in general? Like, are there many concept artists and character artists and like 3D artists? What is it like?
Yeah, I know a couple of them. We're not that many. I know two people, and I know one that's quite famous now. He's called Evan, and he's doing his thing. I think he's living in Norway now. But I don't know a lot of people like that. Usually in Oslo, in the capital, they have a couple of big, like Funcom. I don't know if you heard about
Yeah.
them, but they have like big studios, and they usually get concept artists from all the world.
Yeah.
But it's quite new in Norway still, so I don't know so much about it.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, you're not only working with Norwegian market anyway, you're pretty much global.
Mm.
Yeah. No, yeah, I see. All right, very, very interesting. And so, like for you, for the future, would you like to stay more in the concept art as an industry, or would you like to explore something else, because you've already changed once from animation
Yeah, exactly.
to
Um,
concepting?
I would like to continue a little bit concepting and doing illustrations, because that's what I enjoy the most. But maybe I was thinking about, I did use ZBrush, for example. I like it, but it's still, again, a 3D software. So it gets me a little bit like, yeah, I should probably just draw this, you know? So I
Yeah.
still have this fine art kind of comic book thing, doing it by hand. Maybe in the future I will do more animations. I don't know. But it's like I went from 3D to 2D, and I don't know if I want to go back that soon.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
And what's like the project that you're kind of a most proud of, or something like a project where you felt that you contributed the most, where you kind of had your style or something like this?
That didn't happen yet, really. Usually I have an agreement how to find what they like. I'm working on it, building my portfolio more personal, like personal work. So I think I want to, when I have the time, to build up my style in a way, but I don't think I'm there yet. I feel like I need to get more work and experience, and because when you have a portfolio, they see what is there, and
Yeah.
when you do a style that's not yours, they're gonna give you a job that is like that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want. So actually you should do what you like and post it, and see if you get work from there.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that right away, you know. So I was like, oh, just find work and post it there, and But now I'm thinking I should do my stuff, what I
Mm-hmm.
like the most, and actually I feel like people like best the stuff that you do uh, as personal, because it's always a little bit more crazy and it's like free, of
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
rules. So my idea maybe in some years is to get my style, so I can get work because of me, not
Mm-hmm.
just because I'm an illustrator or concept artist. Like, we need this guy in
Mm-hmm.
because he has a cool style, for example. I don't know.
That's very interesting, like, and to me, the specific and interesting point in what you just said is that you've been working in the industry for so long, and I know you've got pretty big clients, but you're saying that you're still building your portfolio. How come? Like, how do you even get clients, and how do you even get pretty big clients to work with
Yeah,
if you're always building a portfolio?
yeah, but the portfolio is not something you have forever. You get better, and it's evolving all the time with your skills and your knowledge, and so I think you should build your portfolio almost every year. Not because I still have stuff from 3 years ago, and they're not good enough anymore, because in the industry it goes very fast,
Yeah.
um, and you get like people that are very good very fast. So you have to keep up. I'm not very good at posting everything, and that's a job. I feel like it's another job, like how to promote myself.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you have to promote yourself, and you have to keep up with
Yeah.
building your portfolio all the time. I didn't to answer more your question. It's I didn't start my portfolio the first um, the first years I started, because when I was working in 3D, I didn't have any portfolio in this industry. I was just doing animations, and I was working in a company. So I was just a worker in a company. Now I have to build my own
You
company
have
in a
to
way.
build your own company,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
your own
So
brand.
that's why it's important for me to always update my portfolio and work,
Hmm.
study, and
Yeah,
have your own stuff, and have some clients.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
quite a lot.
So, what's your process anyway for for finding clients, or at least making sure that you always have work?
Like I said, I've been lucky. I didn't do that job, and now this year I'm learning, and I'm hurting a little bit, because I'm thinking, if I just wait, maybe I don't get any. So now I'm trying, like, I'm asking a lot of friends that are artists if they need stuff, or I go on this group on Facebook. They have like gaming groups and board gaming and whatever, and I'm trying to post a little bit more
Hmm.
when so that's
So,
the
a lot of
and go, of course, to interviews. Maybe I would try to go in Sweden or Denmark, or just to see what's there.
okay. So
Hmm.
it's like a lot of networking and a lot of word of mouth eventually as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any like specific online resources? You mentioned a couple of groups, but anything else that worked for you before?
Um, hmm, Let me think. I don't think usually, conventions and like THU and all that. That helps, because it makes you friends with people, you know, in the industry, and then they remember you, and they remember what you do, and you get like, you can have them on Facebook, and they started something, and maybe they need a concept artist. They take contact with you. So usually that's how I get my jobs.
Hmm.
But totally go to conferences, because I did that a lot at the beginning. It was
Okay.
yeah.
So that's something that you can definitely recommend.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's one of the best thing to do, actually.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's good
Mm.
to know. Well, I mean, to be honest, everybody says that events are not only fun, but yeah, but it's
I
like,
I don't think you get like the job you want. It's not like, I'm not gonna lie. It's not like go to an event and then that's it. It's magical. You get clients. It's not. It doesn't work like that. It's more like you go to a couple of events. Like you go to the first one, um, you get friends, and then you go to the next one, and the same friends usually. It's not a very big community artists, so when you get those friends, you begin to get in the group and in the groove of what's happening, and you hear like, ah, there is a somebody that needs a concept artist. You want to try that, or you know,
yeah,
and
I see.
mm. But you still
Interesting.
have to do an effort to
Well,
try
of
to
course,
fulfill.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
just going to say, like you're saying, oh, I've been so lucky. Oh, like this just happened. But the reality is that to get lucky, you also need to have certain level of
yeah, exactly.
skill,
Yeah,
and you definitely need
yeah, you have
to.
to work for it, of course.
Yeah, to start with, you definitely need to have great art behind all of this effort.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, when I say I'm lucky, it's just that I didn't expect to have work that soon. Uh, so I get one of my first gig was for Gameloft, but I didn't continue with them because of prices. I was too expensive for them. Um, and I had some board games that approached me. So they always approach me. That's why I feel lucky. But actually, sometimes you have to do the effort to go and say, okay,
Hmm.
I'm available. Is there something I can do? As a freelancer, it's always this
Hmm.
grinding.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Like to me, I'll bring back this topic because I like how you speak about that. So let me just do a quick intro here.
yeah,
There are many artists, especially beginner artists, that go so far dropping their rates to bare minimum just to be able to get this project. And you keep saying that you can't do this just because you're not going to survive in Norway.
no,
And I
exactly.
mean, we all know, well, if you guys don't know what are the prices in Norway, you can just definitely Google that. Like the cost of a beer in Norway. I recently did this research.
You did, yeah. Okay.
I know when some Southern European people go to Norway, they bring rice and cheese with them,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. Of course. Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
to save a little bit here and there. So basically, how, like, what's the minimum for you, or how would you even define that this project is worth it? Like when you're gonna say that you're not gonna lower your rate, and just like
It really
explain your
depends.
thinking.
Yeah, now I'm thinking like that after experiencing it for many years. When I say many years, is like 3 or 4 years. It seems to me like it's been 1 year, you know. So, but I had okay. Let's start from when I was working in the company. I didn't notice that because when you work in a oil related kind of market, you get salary every month and it's quite nice. It's well paid. I paid for my apartment, I have a car, everything was fine, you know. And when I started for myself as an artist, I begin to notice that, oh, okay, now I don't have any money, you know. Like, so everything, like you said, like the cheese, like the milk, whatever, is very expensive. So all that keep growing as well every year. So as a freelancer, you have to be able to survive. And um, I think if you're good enough, if you deliver quality and you're professional and you know how to talk to clients, they will pay the rate because they need the service. And there is sometimes that they would say, I can find it cheaper there, but usually it's not the same quality. Or because I had like one client that said, I can have it in China, don't worry about it, you know. And I said, okay, then it's okay, I can do something else. And he came back 2 weeks after and he said everything they did, I couldn't understand what they were saying. And yes, it was cheaper, but the quality was lacking. So please, can we find an agreement? And that was nice. So now we can talk about. So my from my perspective, or my from my perspective, I was saying, okay, so you came back. I'm not gonna change my rates, but we can, depending on your budget and how much you have, we can discuss the price. But I can't go lower than this, for example, because
Okay.
then it doesn't make any sense. I
Mm-hmm.
can do something else, you know.
I see.
You never, as a freelancer, if you, especially at the beginning, if you begin to sell yourself too low, you're gonna break the market for other freelancers as well. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
love that. I
yeah,
absolutely love this idea because I
yeah,
think we all are worth certain
yeah, exactly.
like
And
living a good life. Nobody can work for $5 a week or even $5 a day. That's not what it costs.
no, exactly. And if you get approached by a client that don't know that they say, yeah, but you just drawing. Yeah, do it yourself then. You know what I mean? Like, why are you bothering me? So you have the right to, you have a value that they want. So it's a service they ask you to do because they can't do it themselves. It's like me saying, the plumber, come and fix my toilet, but you're gonna get half your rate. He's gonna say, no.
Yeah, you
You
can
know,
do it yourself, actually.
no,
That's not that
exactly.
hard.
So it's work, even if it's maybe fun. It's a lot of hours you put in there. So
Yeah.
it has a value of money that they want you, and they're gonna get the money when they sell their product.
Yeah.
So actually, you have to think it's drawing, but it's a product you're selling to a client
Hmm.
that's gonna again sell it to make money of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
so let me put it this way. Imagine you move to, like, let's say Vietnam or Thailand. Let me be very characteristic.
Yeah.
And you just need some small coconut cash for, and yeah, maybe
I
some
think
small cash to
I
your.
would be quite comfortable living there with my work now.
Yeah, but the thing
So
is, you know now that you can charge your rate, so you're probably not going to decrease your rates.
no, I'm gonna go up, I think, because when your quality increase, you notice that there is more demand, and you get other clients that can pay you this way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because when you increase the quality, there is like less and less people that do that. They can do that, you know. So there is like a lot of good artists that are extraordinarily good, and they get paid a lot of money. It's not because they are nice, it's because they're very good, you know.
Yeah.
So actually, if you get to that level, you can begin to dictate the price, because they need you. They go and say, okay, this guy, we need this guy.
Yeah.
So how, you know.
I see.
And that's one of my goals, but that can take like 10 years, you know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm happy to just do work and get enough
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
to live normally.
Well,
Yeah.
to live normally in Norway.
Yeah. I think if I can make it here, you can make
You
it.
can
I
make
can
it
everywhere.
anywhere.
Exactly.
That's a pretty
I've been.
strong statement.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking maybe in some point maybe I can live in Casablanca, because it's a little bit cheap. Actually, it's not that cheap anymore,
Nah,
but
but
it's still
still,
cheaper,
from
much
my
cheaper.
experience of like living in Morocco, I think that's like
Ah, you
still.
live in Morocco?
Yeah, I lived in next door to Casablanca, that was in Rabat.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
but it was
Yeah.
still, I think, I
Yeah,
never
for the
lived in
food.
Norway, but never wanted.
Yeah, but it's just cold and expensive.
Yeah. Well, you have to be a really like a super
uh,
weirdo to make choices.
but just to say, Norway is extraordinary as well. They have like we have like nature, and
Yeah,
everything is practical, and the lifestyle is very high. You know, like
yeah,
you have everything you need. Um, it's just for artists is a little bit difficult, you
yeah,
know, because they are out of the system of the social system.
Yeah.
And then,
No, for sure.
yeah.
Well, you still have to pay for all the life quality that you get. It's just that you pay differently through a company or
Yeah, you pay like 4 times the price,
Yeah.
for everything if you compare. So
Yeah. And so the last bit that I wanted to, to talk about is actually what you just mentioned, becoming an exceptional concept artist. So what does it entail for you, and what do you think makes a difference in between those exceptional concept artists and the rest of the concept artists? Why can they charge so much, and what does it take to get there?
they can charge so much because they are the leading artists. Like they are the idols. They are the ones that do the best quality that's out there. And
Do
how
you
to
think it's
get
just
there?
the style?
No, I think it's more they worked at their craft and they used the time to get good. And I'm regretting a little bit to stop drawing for 10 years. So it's like now I have to start from the bottom again and rebuild myself. But I think that the best ones are usually the ones that did like at least 10, 15 years of it.
I see.
They worked on their fundamental, they have experience, they work with a lot of good, very high skilled people. And I think that's what it takes. It takes the grinding and doing. You have to practice every day. It's like I don't know. It's like lifting weights. You can't lift 100 kilos today, but maybe in 3 months you can. It's like this resilience all the time. Yeah. And after a while, you get good. There is no. I think there is no other way. You have to be good. If you do one thing for years, but you have to be smart about it, because there is a lot of people that do it and struggle and don't understand, and they say, "Oh, anatomy and perspective and all that is very boring. I can't do it. I can't draw. I can't do this." But I think they put too much pressure on themselves. And my solution is to take bits by bits. Like, for example, we were talking about you get stuff from for free in the 3D software. Start there. Learn about lighting, how it works, and use like 2-3 weeks on that, and do feet, hands, draw muscles.
Bit by bit.
Exactly. And if you have to think it's a marathon, it's not like it's gonna take you time. You're gonna suck, of course, like everybody else, but it's just temporary. Like if you know that you're not gonna suck in 3 months, it gives you a certain goal. But if you get frustrated because you want to not suck right now, it's gonna be difficult, because you're gonna just be frustrated all the time.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Hakim. I'm just gonna now, since we're getting close to the time, I'm gonna run you through our traditional questionnaire, if you don't mind. You've got like a couple of sentences tops to answer each question, and there are 10 questions.
Wow.
So too many.
I think I missed that though. I didn't know
No, we're gonna do that. Everybody does that. This is, the planned torture.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's do
it. It should be easy. All right. So, what's your favorite place in the world? I think I know the answer.
My favorite place in the world to live in, or just to visit?
Whatever. To be in.
I think it could be Spain.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be Spain or France, or more South Europe, even Casablanca. I love. Somewhere where there is sun. And it's cheap and sun. That's what I like.
Okay, I can hear you. All right. So while you're working, what are you listening to?
Wow, that's a lot. It depends on my mood. I've I've been a musician for some years. So, and Scandinavian people or Norwegian people are listening to metal, like hard music. So sometimes if I'm like struggling or I do put on really hard music and then it calms me down for some reason. Sometimes I can listen to pop, I can listen to not a lot of books though. But I do like it. I forgot that we can listen to books,
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I put on Netflix just to have like a noise in the background.
All right, I see. So what's your favorite way to get inspiration?
Best way to get inspiration is to look at my favorite artists, to figure out how they do their stuff, study them, go to conferences, like talk to artists that you like, and watch a lot of tutorials. Like I love watching how people find solution for their work.
Right.
Yeah.
Love that. So what's your big life goal?
When it comes to being an artist or like a human being?
Human being.
Yeah, to be the best of myself, like to be comfortable in my own skin and get what I want. I think that's my not to get what I want, but it's more like being the best of myself. I think
that's a great goal. That's a great goal.
And personally, thank you.
And what's your favorite drink?
For now, I'm drinking. That's not very good, but I'm drinking Pepsi Max. For some reason, I get addicted lately. But when it comes to alcohol, I like white wine and red wine.
Yes. Okay. What's the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up?
I eat breakfast.
Lovely. What do you normally have for breakfast? That's not on the agenda, but I'm gonna ask.
Okay, it depends. I've been really actually I've been really not how do you say, like obsessed by how what's the best breakfast you can have so you can have a good day. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I tried a little bit different stuff, but I usually eat some eggs and oatmeal or some turkey bacon.
All right. Very healthy.
Yeah, I'm trying because again, when you're a freelancer and you're not doing any exercises, and because it's not a healthy life sitting and doing the same thing in front of the monitor, You have to eat well and exercise. And I'm struggling sometimes to do that, but that's what I try.
Well, good effort anyway. Thanks. So thinking of which, what would be your backup career?
I want to say dancer, but it's not. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe it would be.
No, my backup, like nothing to do with art, or
yeah, nothing to do with art.
Yeah, I don't have any. I wanted to be a musician at some point. I wanted to be. I played a lot of guitars and stuff, so I love music. So maybe a musician.
Maybe that. And can you recommend any book or a movie? Your choice.
Book is gonna be difficult because I don't read.
Just recommend a movie.
A movie. What's the latest movie I think I watched The Joker last, so I'm a little bit.
Joker definitely has beaten the records on like number of people recommending it on this podcast.
It was. I love the character. I always draw DC characters with a smile, so I was really interested to see that movie, and I liked it. So yeah, this movie is really good.
Okay, so you already mentioned that you like being inspired by some of the other artists. So who are they? Who are some of your legends? Some of the people that you follow?
Oh my God, there's a lot. And I love 3D artists as well. So it's
well, give me a couple of names.
Let me think. Lately, you know what? Lately, I've been really mesmerized by Japanese painters, but I don't know their name. So
Oh,
because
okay.
it's in Japanese, but the one that usually are often the one that I like. One of them is Anthony Jones because he's a really good mentor. I found it a good instructor as well. Um, you know Jamie Jones?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
know who you mean. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Feng
yeah, yeah.
Zhu, for example. This is very concept people. The artists from painters, they're like surgeons and you know all that. So I like everything. I like fine arts to look at as well sometimes and to get inspired. So
Cool.
it's
So
one of
maybe
the.
if you find a couple of links to your favorite also Japanese artists, we can put it in the show notes.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do that.
that'll be cool to
There is
do.
one called Ryan Jaya. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, is very good.
Nice.
Yeah, I can find the list for you.
All
Totally.
right,
Yeah.
perfect. Let's do that. And I've
Yes.
got the last question meanwhile. A couple of things on your bucket list.
For today or for life?
Well, for today would be pretty boring. I hope maybe not, but okay, let's go for life.
um, to get better at what I do, to try to get motivated and to again to be the best that I can be. Like um, I hope I can get better at what I do. That's one of my main goal now. And,
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Mm.
Well, that can take a very long time, so that's probably not
Yeah,
for today.
thanks. Yeah, it will. I know.
All right. Okay, amazing. So I think we're done actually. And thanks so much for sharing all this. And thanks for your time
It was
again,
really
Hakim.
nice.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure, huh?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure for me too.
Yeah, thanks. And we'll put all the links in the show notes. And yeah, I'll check with you in some time to see how far you are.
Cool.
All
That's
right.
interesting.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. In case you enjoyed the show, make sure you give us a like and actually feel free to leave us a comment or a question just here under the video or in the podcasting platform. Doesn't matter where you're listening to this. And in case you have some extra spare time this weeks or days, go to artheroes.co. We've got a bunch of downloads available for you to improve. And we're also have already opened a waitlist for our 3D printing program. The program is going to be up in about a week time. So make sure you join the waitlist and we are going to announce the program to the waitlist first thing. All right, that's it. No matter what happens, we're going to see you right here in exactly a week. Cheers, guys.
Thanks for listening to Art Heroes Podcast. Check out www.artheroes.co for show notes, more interviews, and free tools made for you by our team of mentors. Tune in next week for more inspiration, and keep up the great work, hero.